Hi friends, my name is Chris. I am the Camping Stitcher here on YouTube and Instagram. I also have a Facebook group and a web page, and I'm also on Etsy with my designs. Welcome. This is my channel mostly about cross stitch. Sometimes I'll throw in other crafts here and there like quilting or punch needle, but today's episode is about cross stitch. Today is Friday, October 13th, 2023, and I'm back. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I've gotten 2 new designs out and stitched and FFO'd, so I have some FFOs to show you. I have some new releases and whips and some haul and my plans, and I'll have a campfire story, a short one at the end. So if you are not interested in that, I'll just let you know and you can go on to the next thing that you want to watch. It's been busy here. Not like crazy hectic, but my husband was away for a little while. He goes away with his brother, so they were out for a while. I had a quiet week. Managed to get 2 things designed and released. I really hadn't planned on that, but it kind of took on a life of its own, sort of. I mean, I sketch, I don't know, I'll show you what I start out with. This is what I start out with. I'll sketch something out, and I'll just doodle around. I have an idea book that I write down all my ideas in that I've been keeping for, gosh, probably 2 years. And then I'll start working in my software, and it kind of takes on a life of its own. So hopefully that process, it's been working for me, so I hope it keeps working for me. So let's see. I have notes. See, it's like I haven't done this in forever. The title of this video is probably going to be Slacker, because I just was supposed to come back and I didn't. Anyway, no apologies. You know, you guys there's so many things to watch and do out there, I'm sure. Anyway, okay, so FFOs. The first one, I saw this stitched by Sherry, Just So Sherry. Check out her Flosstube channel. She's awesome and amazing and funny. She had stitched this, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, where was that? Where was I? So I went on to Misty's site, Luminous Fiber Arts, and I downloaded the pattern and started stitching it and just basically couldn't stop. It is Enchanted Quaker. I did it on, oh, there's a piece of fuzz on there. I did it on 36 count Gray Sand by XG Designs. Oh, see the little hat up there? I love XG Designs. She's awesome with her fabric. Has the perfect amount of shading in it. I use the called for black Classic Colorworks Black Coffee, and I stitched it 1/2. I know the pattern called for 2/2. I think it was on a lower count, maybe 32 count, and 8 skeins, but I used all of 3 skeins and maybe a few strands of a 4th. So I'm super happy with it. I just mounted it on some foam board with some batting over it. And the tobacco basket was 50% off at Hobby Lobby. And the picks came from Michael's. So I'm super happy with that. I got a Halloween finish this year, and I hadn't really counted on that. So that was my one FFO. The other 2 are my own designs, which I had here 5 seconds ago, because this is my second take, because apparently I don't know how to do floss tubing anymore. Okay, I did put out a design for Halloween, and it is called Toil and Trouble. I just want to say again, thank you guys for all your support and purchasing my designs. I really appreciate it. I would love it to see them in some shops. So if you prefer a paper copy, I do sell some paper copies, but I'd really prefer to have them in shops and support them. So if you would like to have paper copies, by all means, please share my information with your local needlework shop or your online shop that you love and have them contact me. I'll be happy to get them some patterns to get to you. Anyway, so this is Toil and Trouble. It's I finished it into a little pillow. It is 85 by 56 stitches on 36 count, and the fabric I used for it was Tinsmith by Zweigart. It was stitched one strand over two, and I used the black coffee because I had it out and it was perfect for it. And here is the finish, the FFO. I think it came out super cute. I'm really happy with it. It's perfect for your dough bowl. It's quick, one color. Spider web isn't too hard, just a couple of long stitches. And I backed it with some Halloween fabric and some trim from Hobby Lobby. And that's Toil and Trouble. If you need something for your Halloween decor, you can whip that up. I think it maybe took me 2 days to stitch. And that was the first release I had. And then I had been working on this and just decided, well, you know, I had a lot of time to myself while my husband was away. So I wanted to maybe try to get this out. Fall doesn't end for a little while, so you have time. So this is Fall is my favorite color. I love how this turned out too. Fall is my favorite color, season, everything. This is 88 by 80 stitches on 36 count fabric, but you can stitch it on any fabric count that you want. I did it on 36 count paper bark by Fox and Rabbit, and I used one strand over 2 threads with DMC. It's 8 colors of DMC, and I trimmed it in chenille called Jack by Lady Dot Creates, and that's Fall is my favorite color. It's got a pumpkin, some leaves, some acorns, and a crow, and I'm super happy with that. I think it came together nicely. Of course, like I said, this is what I start with. I'm sketching, and this is what I end up with. I don't know how it gets there, but it does while you're working on it. Totally started out with different colors and switched them out and came up with this palette, and I think it came out very nice. So I hope you like it. It's a PDF in my Etsy shop. I will put a paper copy up. I like to print them out first before I actually list them up. So like I said, if you want to see them in your shops, I'll let them know and have them contact me, and I will get them some paper copies. They could just email thecampingstitcher@gmail.com. So those are my FFOs. I guess I got enough done in 3 weeks. But I have a couple of commit whips I wanted to catch up on. And I've been also working on the stocking I'm making for my daughter-in-law. So let me just show that first real quick. I'm almost done with it. This is a dimensions kit, and the kit is 30 years old. I mean, I didn't have it for 30 years, but this is where I am. And I have, let's see, the heel and the toe get some long stitches and some French knots with flowers, and then it will be done. I finished the back stitching, most of it. I have here it gets a stirrup, and around the horse's face it gets a bridle. So super happy with that. This was a kit. It came with everything, but I remember when I made the same stocking for my son, Dimensions did not provide DMC floss, and their red ran like crazy. So I subbed out all the colors for DMC floss because it was 30 years old. I mean, not that it was bad, but it just felt goofy and funny. I ended up restarting it on this Ada because the Ada they sent with it, there was an error in the chart, and I should have remembered this. There was an error in the chart way back when, and I remember being real close to the edges when I was sewing it together for my son. Well, they put a correction in this package of the chart, and it totally made it shift over, and I restarted it. I wanted to have enough fabric around this stocking so that I can cut it out and feel secure. So we are almost done with it. And I'm pretty excited about getting it sent off to her. I know she's excited about it too. So it's always fun to make something for somebody that they want. It means a lot. And let's see. Oh, so we were away on vacation during more than half of September. So I did not get all my commitments on my Whip Go. So I decided to get going on that. So I pulled out, inspired by Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher. She posted on Instagram her finish of Consider the Lilies. Go see it. It's gorgeous. So this happened to be one of my goals for September. So I pulled it out and I got that goal done. It's a big girl, but this was my birthday. This was my birthday start. My BAP for my big birthday. So when I pulled it out, I was right here. I was on this flower vase, and I have done almost across the whole top. That's where I am right now. This is on 36 count light mocha. I seem to have a thing about light mocha because my other whip is on light mocha too. And it's with all the called for fancy floss. So, do I have it all here? I do. All the called for floss. So, I will probably, after I am done with my next whip, which I hope to finish by the end of the week, next week, hopefully, I will probably pull this back out. I have another commit whip for September, but I'm just really in denial about it. I don't know. I'm almost done with it, but I'm not really, sometimes you're just not into it. Even if it's a goal, it's my board, my rules. I'll do what I want. Anyway. So the other whip I've been working on is Welcome to the North Pole by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I finished the snowman, and I got started on the cocoa stand. All I have left to do is that white in the cocoa stand and the word cocoa, and then I can get on to the next two. Once you sit down and start doing it, it goes pretty fast, but I just get going. You got to get going. So this is on 36 count light mocha. I guess I have a thing for light mocha. I'm not sure. Light mocha, from what I understand, I could be wrong, is the a reverse side of vintage country mocha. I think somebody told me that once. I hope that's true. Anyway, there I am. It's really cute, and I'm hoping that, really hoping for a finish for this holiday season, because I really like to have this displayed. Super cute. They have such cute patterns. Love them. So that's it for the whips I've been working on. I did pull out one of my fall samplers, and I did a couple of, one motif on them, but I don't know. I'm pretty scattered. I had to make some needle minders this week, and I wanted to get those 2 designs released in the Etsy shop. So, kind of been pretty busy, but, it's all fun stuff. Anyway, looking at my notes, we are on to haul. I do have a little bit in the haul basket. I did place an order with Hillside Rookery, Olivia B. She's awesome. I've been watching her Flosstube channel. She's not really new to me, but I just haven't watched her in a while. So been watching her, and I saw she had 2 patterns that I really wanted. So, oh, I have one more whip. I have to show it to you. One moment, please. Geez, you make notes and you figure I got it all together, and you really don't have it all together. So we're going to rewind for a second and put Hole on hold. Anyway, this is Flying Lessons by Silver Creek Samplers. Love it. This was a Sal. I think it was Nicole Spohr that started the Sal. I know there were a lot of other people, but I'm pretty sure, yes, she was the one that hosted it. And I did it on the Called For Hazelwood by Fiber on a Whim. I'm pretty sure, yes. My Hazelwood was pretty dark, so I subbed out, see on here, this green on the Dusk to Dawn and the Aviation Institute and the hat band. I subbed out the green for DMC 327, and that's my finish. And I'm hoping to fully finish it this weekend. I love how it came out. Super cute, super fast, just adorable. And I'll have 2 Halloween finishes. I did buy a little board at the dollar store that I'm gonna paint black, and I'm just gonna mount this and trim it and call it a day. But I'm really happy with the way that came out, and I love the purple. Love how the purple looks on there. So cute, really, really cute. So that was my last FFO. I lied to you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Now we'll get back to haul. So I watched Olivia B, and I ordered a couple of things from her Etsy shop. Is it an Etsy? I think it's an Etsy. I hope it's an Etsy. I feel ditzy today. Anyway, I ordered Jack's Bash Plum Street Samplers. And, ooh, Glary Glare. Okay, you guys have seen this all over, I'm sure. But it's not too terribly big. It has a DMC conversion, but I think I really want to see how much of the gentle arts that I have. I could probably sub out some of this stuff, because I have tons of black coffee. I bought some, and Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, had sent me some for my birthday. But I think I want to start that. And then the other, I saw this and I was like, hey, I've never seen that before. This is another Plum Street. It's called Salem Sisters. Super cute. It says, sisters of mine, we've done no crime, yet here we go to hanging. These foul townsfolk, they thought us cursed, and now we're up here swanging. Anyway, that's a cute little, this, you know, if I don't start Jack's, I might start this. But cute little Halloween stuff. And she was super fast shipping. The postal service wasn't super fast, but she was super fast. So the other haul, this is going to be fun. Well, I did the duplicate buy. So this is going to be in a gift away. And I did get my September Fabric of the Month from Fox and Rabbit, and it's called Mabon, which is Autumn Equinox, and it's pretty gorgeous. Look at that. So that's it for my haul, other than the fact that I had to get a new printer, because my Canon printer eats ink like a dehydrated person. Anyway, I am going to have a gift away. So, because I now have 2 of these. So if you would like to enter for this little gift. Just put the word snowy and be 18. Don't say any of the, troll words. Be in the US. I will have another gift away. I'm getting close to 4,000 subscribers. So when I get there, I'm going to give away 4 PDFs. So if you want to share, subscribe, all that other stuff, that'd be great. If not, just come on back and stop in and hang around for the jibber jabber. I'm not too crazy about that. But that's it for my haul. I did pre-order a couple of things. Brenda Gervais has a lot of new releases. I think the Light of Winter is the one that I did, and the Piney or Peppermint Woods. Blackbird Designs has a reprint coming out, a couple of them. Teresa Kogut has a new book. Kathy Haberman, Hands on Design, has a couple of new releases. There's a lot of nice stuff coming down the pike. So a lot of pre-orders, but I'm not a too much of a fan of pre-orders because my experience with them has always been my experience that I have at the drive-thru, if you get what I mean. Not that anybody sets out to, but it's always like, I don't know, I pre-ordered something once and somebody forgot, and I don't know. I would just, I don't know, wait for them to come out, but pre-ordering is cool because they know how much you want. So I get it. I just haven't had the best of luck with it myself. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but there are some things I have to pre-order, and Brenda Gervais is usually one of them. Not to bash pre-orders. That's not what I'm doing. Anyway, so my plans. Yeah, there's an order to this. My plans are to finish the stocking, to finish Welcome to the North Pole. I have a Christmas design I'm working on and a winter design I'm working on, and whatever else comes in between, because I just get a thought in my head and then I'll write it down and then I'll start plotting it on the software, and then, most times it happens. But I want to finish the flying lessons, and I have 2 more things to frame. One of them is the Winter Sampler by Crochet to Go-Go, and I have the frame for that, and I also ES Spot Sampler. I still haven't framed that, so I don't know what I'm waiting for. Honestly, I think I like to finish, and I'm usually happy with my finishes. It's just getting the motivation to do it, because it's just a whole different stress, like, is it going to look the way you want it to look? Is it, especially with pillows, I dilly-dallied about this trim for, I don't know, I finished it without the trim, and I didn't like the trim that I picked out originally, and I wanted a black trim, and I didn't think this trim would look good, and then, bounced the ideas off my daughter-in-law, and she was like, no, that trim looks good. So, I mean, it's just making decisions about trim. This one I knew. I knew exactly how I was going to finish it. I knew exactly the trim I was going to use. I knew exactly the backing I was going to use. Sometimes I know how I'm going to do things. Other times it's just like you pull it right. I don't know where it comes from, but I just get a little overwhelmed with choices, I guess, or making the decision about what a complementary color would be. So I don't know how you guys do your finishing, but sometimes I get stuck. Now, the pieces I have to frame, that's just time consuming. It's just, one of them's 2 of them are really big. And then I have to figure out how to do the advent calendar, and I haven't really decided on that yet. I think I want to do a wall hanging. So that doesn't really require a frame, but once you sow something, you're making a commitment, and it's kind of hard to undo. So, but it is an advent calendar, and it's a seasonal piece, so I don't know. I feel like it's a big commitment, and I don't like to make it. So that's where we are. Those are my plans. Again, I am pretty close to, well, not pretty close, but I guess 200 people away from 4,000 subscribers. So I will have a giveaway when that happens. I do have my website. It's functional. I just haven't put my last 2 releases on it, but it directs you to my Etsy shop, and I'll have that linked below. Who have I been watching? Oh yes, Olivia B. I've been watching her. Catching up with Jane and Julie running with scissors. Their last Flosstube was, I laughed so hard at the end. Julie is, I mean, fantastic, and Jane with her songs, it's just, they're hilarious. Who else? Oh, I've been, like I said, my husband was away for a week on camping trip with his brother, and I just binge watched a heck of a lot of stuff that I haven't ever had the time to watch. I watched all of Doc Martin. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that. Once I started watching it, I had to finish it. We had seen it a few episodes when we were away, because you don't get a lot of TV, and we were getting like mostly PBS channels, and that was part of it. So I watched all of that. I caught up on Great British Baking Show. I caught up on, I started watching the Gilmore Girls. I have never watched that. I've seen an episode here or there, but I never watched the whole series. 20 years later, I'm totally engrossed. So, and then there was one more that I was watching. Oh, Bridgerton. How'd that happen? I don't even know. So I watched a bunch of that, watched a bunch of Flosstube. I did a lot of stitching, because I had the new designs that I wanted to get out. And that's about it. Really don't have, that's about it. Yep, I'm done. Kind of been a Flosstube slacker, but you kind of understand, like, I was so binge watching stitching machine. So if you are not interested in the Campfire story, thank you for sticking with me. Appreciate you being here. If you come back, that'd be great. And I will see you next time. Have a lot of fun stitchy time, and this is the part where I'll tell my little story. And it's not a long one. It's a pretty quick one. I had to go over, this is the other thing I did. When my husband was away, I cleaned up my computer. I got rid of a lot of duplicate pictures and photos. Went through all, when you're on vacation, you take photo after photo, and not all of them are great. I cleaned that up. And I made a list of all the Campfire stories I've told you guys. So I hope I don't duplicate anything, because I made a list. And I don't think I've told you this story before, because I didn't see it anywhere. But I've got 36, no, not 36. I started telling the Campfire stories in episode 7, I think. So anyway, that's 30 stories ago. This one is, I've said before, we used to spend a lot of time going up to New Hampshire, Maine in the summers. And we were camping in the White Mountains, and there's a campground called Basin. And there's an area in the White Mountains. It's Maine, New Hampshire, Maine. So, Hastings is in Maine, and then you go down the road a bit, and it's New Hampshire. And then you go down the road a bit, and it's Maine again. Come out in Freiburg. But we were camping in Basin, and it's not a real big campground. I think it's a single loop, to be honest with you, from what I remember. We haven't been up there in years, but it's on a basin lake, and we used to bring our kayaks up there, and that's where I encountered the loon in the lake. And I think it was one of the first years we had Sophie. We didn't have Ivy yet. We had my Sophie, my little brunette. Yorkie poo. And we had the hard-sided camper, but it was the smaller one. And we were in one of the campsites that kind of backed up against the woods. And there was a huge rock, and then there was like, little animal paths and stuff all around it. There's lots of animals over there. But anyway, my husband went hiking, so it was just Sophie and I at the campsite. And we were sitting outside. Things were quiet because it was probably midweek, Monday or Tuesday, or not close to a weekend. So it was really quiet in the campground. So we were sitting there, and I heard this commotion. And I was like, well, it sounded like an animal, but it didn't make me particularly nervous because, it could have been just a deer or raccoon or a squirrel or something like that. It didn't sound like, really big at first. So I was sitting there. I think I was probably reading a book, and Sophie was outside with me. And the dogs are always hooked up to a lead, so I don't have to worry about them. You always have to have them on a lead. But she was laying on a little bed, and I was sitting in a chair, and this noise kept getting, just louder and louder. And closer. And I was like, what is this thing? And I was just about to get up and go check it out. And this moose just walks right into our campsite. And when I say right into our campsite, I mean, like, right there. There's a moose. Huge. Big rack. Just pissed off that he or she, I walked in and saw us sitting there in their territory, obviously, because this had been the path that this particular moose took down to the basin lake when they thought people weren't around. And I was just like, oh no, because I appreciate nature, but yeah, moose, that it could be bad. So of course Sophie, she's like this big. She's 9 pounds. Decides that she's going to tell the moose off. So she starts barking like a crazy person trying to get at it. So I have to grab her, throw her in the camper. Of course, I went and grabbed my camera because this is the days before we had cell phone cameras. And this moose was just like, and I'm like, so I stood in the doorway of the camper where I was safe and was taking pictures of the moose as it was walking by and looking at me like, what are you doing here? And he walked down to the lake and left us alone. But you're just like, wait, I'm minding my own business reading a book. I'm guessing because I think a lot of the time when you're in a campground, I think the animals in the area do get a sense of the routine of when people are there and not there. I know bears do. They have a routine. They have like a 3-day routine that they go on a particular route and do their ramblings and looking for food. I'm guessing this particular moose was thinking the campsite was going to be empty when it came through. But annoyed as, not like aggressive annoyed, but just like haughty, like, what are you doing here? But yeah, my husband got back and I was like, moose came into the campsite, and he's like, what? And I was like, yeah. So that's like the second close encounter I've had with a moose, getting very close and closer than I would like. I see people doing things like that, and they see animals like on the side of the road. We saw it when we were in Yellowstone in September. There was a bison, and people were out, and they were walking up to it, and that's just stupid. Just don't do that. You're endangering yourself, and you're endangering the animal, because if that animal does something to you, there's consequences. And yeah, so I have a healthy respect for that, and I will give wildlife their large area the berth of you leave them alone. I mean, observe if you can do it at a safe distance. But yeah, that moose was just right real close. That's my campfire story. Moose and Basin Campground, New Hampshire. I would like to go back up there sometime soon. We haven't been up there in years. Anyway, thank you for sticking with me. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting up with the jibber jabber. I hope you're doing well. I know once again the world is going through some horrible things, and the only thing I can put out there is prayers and positive thoughts, and I hope things get better. So, you guys take it easy. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Leave me a comment. Don't forget, if you want the duplicate Prairie Schooler Santa that I have, leave the word snowy. And I will see you guys soon. Be well, be happy, stitch away. Bye.